Hey guys, so I've already prepped and primed my face, as you can see. So I'm just going to go through the video and then I'm going to see what he applies first.
The other day I had posted to my IG stories that I was looking for a model to do a makeup look on for my videos here on YouTube for years now, and always kind of find myself going back to it, working with the cream. Someone by the name of Olivia had slid up in my DMs and volunteered as tribute. Fast forward to today, I'm going to be doing a really dark black smoked out eye on her, and we're going to pair it with some beautiful flawless skin and a nude lip. You can't go wrong with that. So if you want to learn step by step how I achieve this look right here, then keep on watching. So I'm starting out by using this Laura Mercier moisturizing glow mask.
Okay, so I've already prepped and primed my face. So I've used the pre-makeup primer. So this is it. So I've used that to prep and prime my face. So I'm just going to jump to the next bit on what he does on the model's face.
Next, I'm taking a little razor to clean up around the brows. I don't like plucking
The eyebrows look okay. I don't think I need to fix them at all until I draw them in and stuff. So I'm just going to go next as well.
To the hair follicle, making it less likely to grow back. But this is also a really good tool to use to clean up any peach fuzz you may have around the face. For foundation, I'm using a cream foundation from RCMA. This has got to be one of my ride or dies when it comes to foundations. I've used it for years.
Okay, so I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty foundation in the shade 450. I haven't got any cream contours to be honest, but I think this should be close enough because of the consistency. It's quite thick anyway, so I'm going to try and use this. Well, I'm going to use this. So I'm just going to apply this on the back of my hands. So I'm just dabbing this on, so it's this colour like this.
I kind of find myself going back to it. Working with the cream foundation makes blending the cream contour a dream, but this is for sure a foundation you're going to want to set with a powder. Otherwise, as you can see, you can start to...
Okay, so I've never actually blended my foundation with a beauty blender. So this is something new. So I'm just going to go ahead and just spritz the beauty blender with the NYX Professional Makeup Setting Spray and Fixing Spray. So I'm just going to do that now. Okay, so he uses the back of the beauty blender, the little round bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to use that as well. The same technique. So I'm just going to buff that in, just to give it that natural finish. Okay. So I'm just going in, applying that as well. So one thing I can say, it really does give a natural finish. That's one thing, but I tend to use my Real Techniques foundation brush, which I'm just used to. But it's okay. So let's see what he does next.
Real quick. For Olivia, I'm using two different shades, Shinto 7 and Shinto 6. I started with applying the darker shade first around the face and then followed up with a lighter shade. Her face and arms are a bit darker than her neck and chest, so I'll end up having to bring this foundation down so everything really matches seamlessly. To bring some light and dimension back to the face, I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way concealers in shades Vanilla and Honey. I mix the two on the back of my hand to create a perfect shade, and then I apply it to the areas.
Okay, so for concealer, I'm going to use the MAC Cosmetics 24-hour smooth wear concealer in the shade NC55. So I'm just going to do the same shape as what he did. Let me just get a mirror. Okay, so it does look a bit similar. So he uses the angled section of the Beauty Blender so far. So I'm just going to go and do that, and then I'll see what else he does next. And I'm just constantly blending that out.
And I'm applying this product in the areas I want depth, and using a dense foundation brush to do so. As I was saying a bit ago, since the base is so creamy from the moisturizer and foundation, this cream contour.
So I'm actually going to use a cream contour. I'm using the Makeup Forever Professional Sculpting palette in the shade 50, I think. And I'm using the contour in the shade Ombre, which is Ombre, which is here. So I'm going to use the same type of flat square brush that he used. So I'm going to use some on my forehead for what he did, and the cheekbones, and underneath my chin. Okay, so as you can see, I've added it on my forehead. It might be a bit too much, but I'll blend out. Okay, so I'm using the same beauty blender that I used for the highlight, for the concealer. So I'm just going to use the back of what he's using. I'm just going to blend that all out. Okay, so far it looks okay. I'm just going to keep blending out.
That second layer of highlight, I'm using the same Too Faced concealers that I had used before. I feel like I'm talking too much, and y'all are probably sick. I get a lot of questions too on where I get my powder puffs from, and I buy them in bulk from a makeup store here in Los Angeles called Namies, but I've seen tons of different.
Okay, so for setting powder, I'm going to use the Makeup Revolutions setting powder in terracotta. I'm just going to take a little bit. So I'm just pressing the powder in to set the face.
Blend out any of the product that may have creased, because once you set it with a powder, it's locked into whatever place it was in.
Okay. So I'm going to use a bit of the powder, just a little bit more underneath my eyes, using the same shade in terracotta from Makeup Revolution. Okay, so I'm just applying a little bit on, bit by bit.
I was using. I'm using the Benefit Hoola bronzer and the caramel shade to bronze up the skin and emphasize the cream contour we had done. With the bronzing brush, I'm lightly.
Okay, so where's my bronzer? For bronzer, I'm using the Fenty Beauty bronzer in the shade Mocha Mummy, which is the darkest shade. So I'm going to use that on my cheekbones, my forehead, and underneath my chin, my jawline. I'm just tapping that in. And for my nose, I'm going to use this little eyeshadow that I use to set my eyelids.
Fair, beyond fair. I'm glow in the dark at this point. I know. I haven't seen the light of day in maybe 20 years. Okay, as you saw, I'm using the Ben Nye banana powder to bake. This shade isn't going to be for everyone, but it's the perfect shade.
Okay, so I've never used the banana one from Makeup Revolution, but I'm going to try it and see how it looks. I'm going to use a little teeny bit. I'm just hoping it doesn't give me too much flashback. And I've never used this colour, this shade I mean. So for my brows, I'm actually going to use the Rimmel London eyebrow pencil in the shade Black Brown. So it's not going to be too harsh on my eyebrows. So I'm just going to go in and do that now. I'm just combing through the brows first of all. Okay, so my brows are done. So let's go and see what he does next.
Reached for any brown eyeshadow that was laying around.
Okay, so for the brown eyeshadow, I'm going to be using this brown here to start off with, which is called Riff from the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. So I'm going to use this one, the same one I used with the bronzer. I'm just using that on the top of the lids. I might even use a deeper brown as well, so I'm using Good As Gone. Okay, so I just kind of smoke the eye even more now.
If not identical. With a smaller detail brush, I start placing that same eyeshadow on the bottom lash line, and then...
Okay, so I'm going to use, that's a flat brush, where's like a fluffy brush I can use. So I'm going to use the same brown in Riff underneath my eyes.
I buff and blend that shadow downwards. Now for my favorite part, I'm using the Jet Deep Black Eyeliner from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm going to begin placing this product in the waterline with an angled liner brush. I put it on the back of my hand first, just so that I can keep the original product sanitary by not having to dip my brush back in.
Okay. I actually haven't got a gel black eyeshadow, but I'm going to use a bit of this liner. Then I'm going to use it underneath my eyelids before it gets dry. So what I'm going to do now is going to smudge it out. So I'm going to do the rest on this side. So that looks really nice so far.
I then use the gel to tight line and line the upper eyelid. With a look like this, it's important to tight line because we're needing that intense black to achieve.
Okay, and I'm going to use Jet in Born to Run palette. Okay, that looks nice already. So I'm just going to do the same on this side with the liner. Okay, so the eyeshadow is done.
Shadow you already have. We're not using much of it anyways, just enough to blend out the edges of the gel. And the same will go for the under eye. I'll take my detail blending brush with a bit of black eyeshadow and start blending that gel downwards. A lot of this footage...
Okay, so I've just applied the lashes. Let me just fix that bit there. Okay, so I've done my lashes. So I'm just going to see what else he's done now.
Remaining powder we have on the face.
Okay, so to dust off the rest of my face, I'm using the MAC Mineralizer in the shade Dark Deep.
Mercier in the shade Peach, and it's exactly just that, I guess. It's a peach toned blush with a pink undertone that looks especially beautiful on deeper skin tones. It has a slight shimmer in it, which I'm usually not crazy about in blushes, but this one is...
Okay, so for the blusher, I'm using the Nyx Cosmetics shade in the blush palette. And I'm going to use this peach colour here. Okay, because I'm not too satisfied with this blusher, I'm actually going to use the eyeshadow palette. Where is it? I'm going to use the eyeshadow palette from Kiko in the shade 218, which is a lovely shimmery sort of peach tone. So it's this colour here, which is really pretty.
To make the skin glow, I'm going in with a highlighter from Kiko Cosmetics in the shade Beverly Hills. And as you can see...
Okay, so for highlighter, I'm using the highlighter from Primark in the shade Champagne. I'm going to use a fan brush. Okay, I'm just using this on the forehead. I'll usually do in my normal videos.
Okay, we're on to the last step of this look. I'm using the KKW Nude Lip Liner in the shade 2.5.
Okay, so before I actually put a lip liner and lipstick, I'm going to set my face. So for the lip pencil, I'm using the Kiko Brown in the shade 517. I'm just going to draw my lip liner again. And then just to give it a little bit of gloss, I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty Glow. The Fenty Glow. Hey guys, so this is the finished look. So to be honest, I feel like because I used sort of creamy liquid foundations, maybe it didn't have the same result because he used a cream foundation and a cream concealer. However, I used a cream contour palette, and also I used the same method as he did, apart from using the gel eyeshadow, but I managed to use the liquid eyeliner and blend it out with a black eyeshadow. So my overall of this video and this tutorial, I feel like I did quite well. I feel like it looks like what he did. I think with the lips, I could have got a bit more brown. However, I think this look is beautiful and I would definitely advise others to try this. It's definitely not something that I would do every day, especially when he was adding the concealer twice. I would definitely probably just do like a normal foundation and then one concealer, then a little bit of bronzer, which he did. But apart from that, if you guys like this video and you want to see more of my makeup tutorials, please comment below. If you're new to my channel, welcome. To my existing subscribers, I love you absolutely so much and thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to uploading another video. Thank you. Bye.